You just finished a big meal. You are completely, uncomfortably full. The kind of full where you lean back and loosen your belt. And then someone brings out dessert. And somehow, there is room. We joke about having a second stomach just for sweets, but that feeling is real. And it's a clue that sugar doesn't play by the normal rules of hunger. We tell ourselves a simple story about this. Sugar tastes good, and we just don't have the willpower to stop. But that story's wrong. And honestly, a little unfair. Because what's really happening isn't weakness. It's a brain doing exactly what it was built to do. Trapped in a world it was never built for. So what makes sugar so hard to resist? The answer sits deep in your brain, in a circuit we call the reward system. It's the same machinery that makes you want the things that once kept your ancestors alive, and almost nothing sets it off like sugar. A single sweet bite releases a surge of dopamine. The brain's simple, do that again signal. And it comes with a catch. That dopamine spikes fast, then drops, often lower than where you started. And that dip reads as just one thing. I want more. One bite quietly becomes the reason you reach for the next. And this wiring is ancient. For almost all of human history, sugar was extremely rare. A little ripe fruit or some wild honey. A jackpot of pure energy in a world where going hungry could kill you. So evolution burned in one rule. When you find something sweet, eat all you can. That rule kept your ancestors alive for 100,000 years. It just couldn't know what we would do next. And here's an even stranger twist. The craving might not be coming only from you. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria, and they eat whatever you eat. Feed them a lot of sugar, and the sugar-loving species thrive and multiply, crowding out the rest. And they are not quiet passengers. Through the gut, they can tug on the very nerves and reward signals that shape what you crave. In mice, scientists have shown it directly. Take the gut bacteria from a sugar-craving mouse, put them into another, and that mouse starts craving sugar too. The leading idea is a little unsettling. Your own gut microbes may be nudging you to keep feeding them, so they don't starve. In humans, it's still early science, but it points the same way. The pull toward sugar may be a chorus, not a solo. Then, eventually, we learn to make sugar cheap and endless. And an industry noticed that this ancient rule in your head could become a business model. Food scientists even have a name for their target, the bliss point, the exact amount of sugar that makes a product as irresistible as possible. And it doesn't stop at candy and soda. Today, sugar is added to roughly 3 out of every 4 packaged foods. Your bread, your pasta sauce, even the healthy yogurt. On the label, it hides under more than 50 different names. And many of these foods are engineered to slip right past the signal that tells you you're full. So you keep eating, long after your body has had enough. And if you think the industry didn't know what it was doing, it did. Back in the 1960s, as researchers began tying sugar to heart disease, the sugar industry quietly paid a group of Harvard scientists to publish a review that pointed the finger away from sugar and straight at fat. It worked. For decades, we blamed fat, stripped it out of everything, and quietly replaced it with more sugar. That hidden payment stayed secret for almost 50 years, and this matters far more than a craving or a few extra pounds. Every time sugar floods your blood, your body scrambles to pull it back down with a hormone called insulin. In the short term, that spike and crash can actually leave you groggy. One large review found that within an hour of a sugar hit, people feel more tired, not more energized. So much for the sugar rush. But the real damage is long-term. Do that over and over, every day for years, and the system starts to wear out. Your cells stop responding, and your blood sugar creeps higher and higher. That is the road to type 2 diabetes. And it is not rare anymore. More than 1 in 10 adults on the planet now live with diabetes. Over 500 million people. And that number is climbing toward 800 million. Sugary drinks in particular are tied to a higher risk, even in people who exercise. And modern life quietly makes it worse. We sit almost all day, and resting muscles burn far less sugar than moving ones do. The instinct that once demanded sugar assumed you'd have to walk, climb, and hunt to earn it. Now it arrives by the truckload. To be fair, sugar isn't the only cause. Your weight, your genes, and how much you move all matter too. But a world drowning in sugar, wired into a body that barely moves, is a combination the studies keep pointing back to. So is sugar actually addictive? The honest answer might surprise you. In animals, it produces the real hallmarks of addiction: binging, cravings, even withdrawal. In people, brain scans show sugar lighting up the same reward circuits as addictive drugs, and the foods we struggle most to control are exactly the sugary, processed ones. Scientists still argue over whether it is true addiction, like nicotine, or something just short of it. But make no mistake, the pull is real, it is measurable, and it was never about willpower. Still, sugar itself isn't some villain molecule. Your body runs on glucose, and your brain is its single, hungriest customer. The problem was never really the sugar, it's the mismatch. A survival instinct built for scarcity, dropped into a world of endless, engineered abundance. You're not fighting a snack, you're fighting your own biology, your own gut, and a century of very smart people optimizing against all of it. So the next time you can't stop at just one cookie, try to remember what's really going on. That pull is not a character flaw. It's the same instinct that once saved a starving ancestor who stumbled onto a tree heavy with ripe fruit. You were never weak. You're just running very old software in a world that learned exactly how to use it against you. And the first step out of a trap is realizing it was built for you. Before you go, we put a lot of work into these videos, so if this one was worth your time, a quick like genuinely helps us out. And if you don't want to miss the next one, consider subscribing. We'd also love to hear what you think. Leave a comment with your thoughts or an idea for a future video. We try to read every single one. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.